Imani panja sikapadani silena bhoga sampada silena niputing yanti tasma silang visodaye. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So welcome everyone. Lovely to see so many new and inspired faces for coming up. So thank you and welcome, warm welcome for everyone. So this is one of a series of quite unusual Dharma talks, which are using a lot of creativity to inspire and to refresh our thinking. This is a talk which is on the illusion of permanence. Often we look at things and they appear to be permanent. The monk with the perm. The talk on the illusion of permanence, impermanence, and the illusion of security. A long time ago, a caravan set across a vast and dangerous wilderness in search of a hidden treasure said to surpass all wealth. The journey was harsh. The road stretched endlessly. Bandits and exhaustion threatened their resolve. After many days, the travelers grew discouraged. This treasure is a rumor, some said. Let us turn back before we perish. Their guide, wise and compassionate, saw their fatigue. Ahead, through his skill, he caused a magnificent city to appear, complete with gates, towers, cool water, and safe lodging. Rest here, he told them, for you've come far. Relieved, the travelers entered, regained their strength, and regained hope. When they were ready to continue, the guide revealed the truth. The city had never been real. It was conjured up magically to save them from despair, giving up. The true treasure still lies ahead, he said. And with steadier hearts, uplifted, they walked on. So what is wealth without permanence? What is legacy without continuity? If identity is memory, memory plus projection, then security cannot be fixed. Perhaps purpose lies not in securing selfhood, but in acting ethically within an impermanent life flow. A long-bearded Rinpoche once delivered a stirring teaching on impermanence. He spoke of change, loss, and letting go. In the front row, an elderly grandmother wept throughout. The Rinpoche, he felt quietly pleased. He thought, the Dharma, it has touched her so deeply. After the talk, he approached her gently. Grandmother, have my words moved you so profoundly? Through tears, she replied, Rinpoche, when I see your long beard, I'm reminded of my dead goat. The session ended pretty quickly after that. What is the illusion of permanence. In life, often we find ourselves ensnared in the fallacy of permanence, the delusion that the current circumstances that envelop us are the most constant thing in our existence. In the quiet grove at Savatthi, Rādha leaned forward and asked the Buddha this question. They speak of a being. What makes a being? The Buddha did not answer with philosophy. He answered with a shift in vision. Rādha, he said, when someone clings to the body, to feelings, to perceptions, to plans, to consciousnesses itself, then we speak of a being. Where there is clinging, there is the sense of someone who is. Then he painted a scene. Picture children on a beach building sandcastles. As long as they love those sandcastles, they guard them, shape them, call them mine. But when interest fades, they crush them with their hands and feet, and then they just walk away laughing. So too, he said, learn to loosen when craving ends, the burden of being ends. Begin with gratitude journaling. Each morning or evening, write 3 things you appreciate. Income that support, people that support you, skills that are developing, people who helped. Practice mindset shifting. When comparison thoughts or I'm an imposter thoughts arise, consciously reframe them as growth signals. Signs of new growth. Use time management tools, such as short focused work intervals and clear task priorities to reduce overwhelm. Finally, create a simple vision board, not fantasy, but direction, reminding you of contribution, service, and steady progress, rather than fears. Ethical reflection asks whether my pursuits of security, my pursuit of status, my pursuit of accreditation aligns with integrity. Am I building legacy through service, or am I building it through ego? Social reflection, notice, is how comparison, fear of irrelevance, and imposter feelings shape relationships, subtly influencing how I relate, how I compete, how I collaborate, and whether I belong. We often repeat our own funny stories, don't we? As Groucho Marx said, if you've heard this story before, don't stop me, because I'd like to hear it again. Even change changes until it doesn't anymore. I saw a chameleon that couldn't change its colors anymore. It was suffering from reptile dysfunction. At 47, Helena Marovich left a prestigious compliance role in a Brisbane high-rise, walking away from bonuses, a title that impresses strangers, but it drained her. There wasn't any scandal, only the sense that stability had tightened into suffocation. She rented a small cottage on Tasmania's coast, chose simplicity. Afternoons were spent learning woodworking from a retired boat builder, shaping reclaimed timber. 18 months later, Helena opened a modest workshop, crafting long, communal tables. Her income shrank, but her contentment grew. The resume mattered less than the steadiness of her breathing. Regret taught me when I saw how chasing security and status shaped my choices. Vision grows clearer when your legacy is all about your contribution to people's well-being, not about applause. Self-compassion softens our comparison with others, and self-compassion calms our fears of feeling like an imposter, an outsider. Change is everywhere. Many things have to be changed regularly. Politicians, for example, politicians should be changed as frequently as diapers, and often for the same reason, said Mark Twain. I don't think I'll be saying that one in China. Communities change. My grandfather was always saying that in the old days, people could leave their back doors open, which is probably why his submarine sank. A man is stranded for months on a desert island. Suddenly, a beautiful woman walks out of the ocean wearing a wetsuit, saying, "You've been here for a very long time. I bet you'd like something to eat." He says, "Yeah." So she unzips a pocket and she pulls out a beautiful thick sandwich. Then she says, "I bet you'd like a drink." He says, "Yeah, I'd love a drink." So she unzips another pocket and pulls out a drink flask. She then says, "I bet you'd like to play around," and starts to unzip her main zipper. And he says, "Wow, don't tell me, you have a set of golf clubs in there as well." Alan Watts said, "The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance." As the Zen proverb goes, let go or be dragged. I was offered a lovely residence. We had a courtyard. In the walled courtyard was a lovely tree. The tree gave abundant shade. It was all perfect, so Zen. It seemed it could last forever. Then my time came to an end. The family owners invited another monk, a Zen calligraphy monk, to stay. I assumed they admired his bold, decisive brushstrokes. Those kind of like one moment slash strokes of Zen. But while he was staying there, practicing his calligraphy, he found the light wasn't just quite right. Just a little bit too dark, a little bit not the right kind of natural light for his work. If it was just a little bit more this or that, and in a moment of the bold decisiveness, He took an axe. He chopped down the beautiful tree so there was more light. So the keys were returned shortly afterwards. There's a traditional Buddhist teaching, the Five Remembrances, to help us face the reality of life. I am of the nature to grow old. I cannot avoid aging. I am of the nature to get sick. I cannot avoid sickness. I am of the nature to die. I cannot avoid death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are all of the nature to change. There is no escaping being separated from them. My actions are my only true belongings. Change is never painful. The resistance to change is painful. As the ancient Greek philosopher Heraclitus said, nothing is permanent except change. Heraclitus reminds us that the only constant in life is change. Resisting it is to struggle, but embracing it brings growth. Accepting impermanence allows us to adapt, evolve, and live with greater peace. A poodle and a Labrador are walking down the street. The poodle says, "My life's a mess. My owner's mean. My girlfriend's probably having an affair. I'm just so nervous." The Labrador suggests, "Go see a psychiatrist." "I can't," says the poodle. "I'm not allowed on the couch." Working in England for a sound and events crew at a vast mansion on the grounds, before I was a monk, in case you haven't got that bit, I chatted with the gardener who told me that father was self-made, but trouble was brewing. He was a millionaire, but the only child, a daughter, had holidayed in Tunisia, drifted to a beach party, and under a romantic moon, well, one thing had led to another. She was pregnant. The young Tunisian was now set to inherit the whole place. I saw him staggering towards us, stoned on grass, asking me, "Is there any tasty food in those boxes you're pushing?" That was all he could think about. For those with daughters, word of warning. Albert Einstein said, a measure of intelligence is the ability to change. And ask yourself, am I becoming more flexible? Am I prepared to let go? A man walking along a Californian beach found an old lamp and rubbed it. Out popped a weary genie. "Fourth time this week," said the genie, complaining. "Okay, but you only get one wish. I'm really tired." The man thought carefully. "I'd like to go to Hawaii, but I'm afraid of flying. I'd get seasick. Build me a bridge to Hawaii from California. All the way." "Impossible," said the genie. "The Pacific Ocean is too deep. The engineering alone, no way. No, try again. Think of something else." The man nodded. "Okay. I've been divorced 4 times. Okay, my wish. I wish I could truly understand the opposite gender, in this case, women." The genie paused. "The bridge, do you want 2 lanes or 4? change and impermanence, reflecting on these truths is not morbid. It's a way to stop taking life for granted and to live more fully in the present. Working in Egypt, I befriended Red Sea diving instructors, including an Italian called Mario. Diving, one small mistake and you drown. One evening, I found him sitting alone, invited me to sit. He looked steadily into my eyes and said, "Are you ready?" That's the question. Are you ready? The words stayed with me as I crossed the desert doing a visa run to Israel. When I returned, Mario, it turned out, had died during a night dive. Just one little tube, you're gone. It reminded me of a tale. A man found Death tapping on his shoulder in a marketplace, and Death said, "On the seventh morning." That was it. That's all he said. The man fled day and night, running. On dawn, on the seventh day, far, far away in a forest, he felt another tap. "Where?" he said. "How did you find me?" Death said, "I don't know. I was just told I'd meet you here." Those running to him all the time. Every day, take a pause. Consider how unpredictable many deaths you knew about were. These people's deaths, did they know? Were they ready? Every day note that nothing is the same as before. Everything has changed, is changing, will change. Every day, while life has fuel, it will continue to run on and on. Every day, practice letting go. Give away. See how easy or difficult it is. Every day, know how much you're clinging, what you are attached to. Reflect. Like that weaver's daughter, where are you coming from? Your past lives. Where? What? With who? Did I live valuably? Where are you going to? Your future rebirths. Did I make merit? Don't you know? Don't you know that you will die? And are you ready? Do you know? Do you know what? Do you know when? No. Permanent. Permanent, as all the ladies here know, it's a hairdo. I actually just wanted to have curly hair. I went into a barber's. He shaved all my hair off. I said, "Hey, what's that?" He said, "You're a Buddhist. That's an imperm." At the boss's funeral, death, subject. At the boss's funeral, a disgruntled and bitter employee kneeled next to the coffin and whispered, "Who's thinking outside the box now, Frank?" There are strange things. I wanted to narrate some lyrics. In it, a man had a strange premonition. This was written in 1974. Remember that? It's a long while ago, 1974. Here's the lyrics. There's something solid forming in the air, and the wall of death is lowered in Times Square. No one seems to care. They carry on as if nothing was there. The wind is blowing harder now, blowing dust into my eyes. The dust settles on my skin, making a crust. I cannot move. And I'm hovering like a fly, waiting for the windshield on a freeway. Powerful. Amazing imagery. Don't ask me how he had that kind of prophecy view. Where is real security? With so many shifting sands and unknowns, isn't it wise to found your life on Buddha's timeless wisdom? Isn't it sweet to live close to the teachings, Dharma, leading to peace? Isn't it good to be close to the Sangha, virtuous, encouraging, noble, kind, generous? We never know how our funerals will go, what will exactly happen to our remains. Human remains are also impermanent, the remains of the day. Will glass coffins be a success? Remains to be seen. Here's the mechanism. Notice that the mind tries to avoid change. The mind tries to create illusions of non-change. It creates patterns to protect itself and its owner against changes. Daily rituals, arranging items, sequences, surrounding itself with the familiar, predictable, and unchanging. My first temple ran on a strict routine. At 2 p.m., meditators reported in. One by one, they entered, bowed 3 times. I asked, "And how was your practice?" And they answered, and then Lumpur gave instructions. One day, a VIP monk was expected. All the Western yogis were to be lined up outside the vihara steps, on the steps, at noon. The heat was intense. We waited. No one came. Interviews began usual, 2 o'clock, while the yogis stood. Unknown to me, one woman fainted and had been taken to hospital. She returned about 4 p.m. and entered near the end of the reportings. I wasn't watching closely. I saw the final bow, head down, and automatically asked, "And how was your practice?" She raised her head, bruised purple face, 2 black eyes, and a white H-shaped plaster across her probably broken nose. I just burst into uncontrollable laughter. It was completely inappropriate. Ashamed, I nearly quit being a monk. Lumpur said to me, "Extend your mercy." Always expect the unexpected. Take frequent pauses to notice your automatic mind replaying loops. Deliberately wake up. Examine fatal disasters. Were they expecting that earthquake? No. They were busy worrying about next year or next day or shopping lists. Take new perspectives. Recall that atoms are mostly empty. See that all the items and places and people we accompany ourselves with are all empty, all unsolid, disappearing, and insubstantial. Take mindful pauses, not just to relax and breathe, but to remind yourself of these truths. All are vanishing illusions. Notice how we expect the expected. Notice how your mind fixes, controls, sets in stone, repeats, loops. Is it something you're aware of? Notice it with compassion more than judgment. And imagine being free of the expected. What is that like? I once tried cutting down smoking by slicing all 20 cigarettes in half with a pair of scissors. I smoked the filtered halves. When those stained, disgusting, ash-covered stubs, I looked at the clean white halves and thought, what a waste of money those were, as if the first disgusting, ashy ones were really money well spent. This was a long time ago, by the way. Change is like a flowing river, the river of constant change. We escape by becoming one with the river as it flows to the sea. We can try and freeze the water. We can try and build a private reservoir. We can throw our garbage into the river to take it away from sight. We can build a dam. We can bottle up the water and store millions of bottles in warehouses. We can ignore the stagnation. Or we can learn to attend, float, flow, and dissolve in the sea. For a talk, I once asked AI for a funny quote about change. Mark Twain, it said, the only constant in life is change, except in a vending machine. Ha ha. After, an American came up to me and said, I'm pretty sure they didn't actually have any vending machines in the time of Mark Twain. But in fact, I thought it was pretty funny. But I did fact check it, and they did. Vending machines they had about 1,000 years ago. Change is like a rumbling fire, always moving. Become one with the fire as it moves. We try and build a private fire. We throw our garbage into the fire to take it away from sight. We can learn to attend, float, flow, and dissolve in the fire. How does it work? Notice what our behavior has been doing. There are patterns behind it. It's one of the ways identity builds itself and protects itself, by ordering deliveries of memories to create walls, a fortress, a castle. Look closely. It is made of sand. The answers are within our intuition, not outside, within your own heart, to transform clinging. Become nothing. Become a one. If you become a one, soon you become a two. Two being divided becomes many. The divided is easily conquered. So go back, become nothing. The illusion of permanence. Meditate to clarify. Identify your defilements, where they are attached to clinging. Practice letting go. All hopes of legacy, of identity, of prestige, all built on a sense of permanence, are illusions too. You can't change, but you can change your ways. Let go, let it be, and don't attach to it. Change is like sand in the hand, always moving. Become one with the sand as it moves. We try and build a private rock. We throw our garbage from the rock. Have it pay to have it taken away from sight. We can remember that our bones, our teeth, or will all become ash, dissolving in the sand. All misery and frustration is built on attachment and control, to things being unchanging, to dreams of satisfaction. All that misery can be reversed to happiness and contentment through what we expect. Expect people and things to change. Expect that they won't satisfy, can't be controlled. So I'd like to end this talk with wishing you well, my gratitude and appreciation for your kind attention. May many of you attain the peace of Nibbana and be free from all avoidable suffering and harm. May you all be peaceful and be safe and well. Sad, sad, sad. So those of you who like suttas, and this will be available on the YouTube, which will be shortly published, like this afternoon. You can follow up on a lot of these themes in these suttas, but obviously it all won't be quite the same. No cartoons and more traditional style, but very worthwhile to do, alternating between your creativity and the tradition, supporting each other. And this talk has been peppered through with work by the Japanese woodblock print artist Hiroshi Yoshida. So gratitude and a tribute to him for his excellent